This is a Webflow designer walkthrough for the unlimited creative agency business sale on Webflow by Startup Streams. So welcome once more to Startup Streams as we introduce Webflow. Webflow is the platform our unlimited creative agency is based upon. It's the host, the design panel, admin area, and content management system for your new business. So right now we'll go through a basic introductory overview to Webflow, so you know where you can edit key information and understand how your website operates. Once you have accepted your Webflow transfer, you will see it available in your Webflow workspace. So the first thing we're going to do is click on Settings, which is this gear icon in the top right hand side of the website preview, which appears on scroll. From here, you can easily change the name of the store from the default name. However, it's important to note the number at the end of the name, which you may choose to keep in the name as it lets you know which version of the website you have. On the same page, you can upload your own favicon, which appears in the top hand corner on a browser. You can change the time settings, the main language. You can choose to add a password to protect your website. When we scroll down, you can see the stats overview of your business, with the site activity log at the bottom, which is handy if you're working as part of a team, as you can see who has made what changes and when. Under Site Access, you can see who has access to your site, and you can click here if you wish to invite somebody else to your Webflow workspace. Under Publishing, you can change the free Webflow domain name, which your site will be published to, and you can also use this section to add your own custom domain name once you have chosen a paid Webflow plan. Under Plans, you can see which features are unlocked with each Webflow plan. By default, you're on the free starter plan, but will need to upgrade to the CMS plan. You can choose to toggle yearly or monthly billing here, which will change the price. You need the CMS plan to correctly open and operate your store, and also note that you can connect your own domain name, which is certainly recommended before you start advertising a new business. Under the Forms tab, you can edit your form notifications, which is what you receive by email when somebody enters a form on the website, such as, and most importantly, the contact form. All form responses, whether from the contact form, the careers page, or the blog updates capture, will appear right here. You can then use this information to contact your new customers, job applicants, and email subscribers. Fonts are explored in detail in another video, so now let's check out the designer. So welcome to the back end of your new store. Here on Webflow, you have far more control over your website, arguably, than any other platform currently available on the internet. Meaning you can change more or less anything you want, but with more controllability comes more complexity. So let's go over the designer now to give you a basic oversight of where you can find what you want to edit, but please make sure that you watch our other in-depth videos about how to customize certain aspects of the store. So you will notice that we have two sidebars, one on the left and one on the right. The left sidebar is known as the Elements panel and is used to manage the pages, media and elements in your store. The right-hand sidebar is called the Style panel and is used to change the visual settings for the elements selected. It's also worth noting that you can return anytime to your Webflow dashboard or the site settings by clicking on the W logo in the top left-hand corner. Now moving down, on the left-hand side we come to Add, whereby you can add an element to the page. This may not be necessary, however, as we have already added all of the elements you need to all pages. Next down the list is Pages, which shows you all of your pages on your website, including what's known as the CMS pages, which we'll come to later. We have the Navigator, which shows us all of the elements on the page, sorted as parent and child elements. This means your main elements would be parent elements, and the items under this in the same group are known as child elements, meaning they exhibit the same behaviors as their parent elements. As one example, if I quickly change the spacing on a parent element by clicking on the spacing box on the right hand side and opt to add, say, 220 pixels above, then all of the child elements will be affected in the same way. Under this, we have components, which means that when one component is edited, the same changes are made to the same group everywhere on the website. Meaning, if you make one edit, the change will be global across the entire website, resulting in an efficient way to make changes. Next, we have Variants, which is where we can pick and choose our color scheme. Make sure you watch our other in-depth video all about how to change colors. The next point of interest is our media assets, which shows where the images and videos are stored on the website. And very importantly, we have the CMS section. CMS, which we came across earlier, stands for Content Management System. It is here where we can edit and manage and add new blog posts and articles to the website. We have a separate video for this also. For this specific business, you can avoid the Logic, Users, E-commerce and Apps section as they are not used to this store. And at the bottom we have Settings, which you may want to explore through, a Webflow Help Center, a site audit which will help point out any known errors which may need your attention, a basic search function across the back end of your store, and lastly, dozens of native Webflow video tutorials in case you get stuck. Talking about getting stuck, if for whatever reason you have made a number of changes which you don't like, you can always revert your store back to an earlier stage. Click the W logo, Site Settings, click Backups, then you can restore an older version of the website from here. Now, back to the designer. Now I'll bring your attention to the top navigation bar, where we can see what is known as breakpoints, which resemble how your website will look on different devices such as tablets and mobiles. However, it's important to note that there will be differences in what you see in the designer and on the finished published website, as some animations and functionality won't be displayed in the designer. If you want to preview the store, you simply need to press the play button here. But again, it's worth noting that some of the links may not work, or you may see some discrepancies from this preview and the live website. So it's always best to check changes on your website as soon as they're made. Which brings us nicely onto the Publish button. Webflow has an auto-save feature, so that you don't need to click save when making changes in the designer. But when you want to update the changes on your website, you need to click Publish each time. So to publish a store, click Publish, then Publish to selected domains. You'll only see the free Webflow domain name here until you purchase a Webflow plan and connect your own custom domain name. But here's a handy tip for you. When editing, I recommend having 2 tabs open on your browser, one with the designer and one with the published version of the store open, so that you can check all published changes in real time. And the last area to introduce you to is the Style panel, which is a bit complex to run through right now, but our other videos in this series will explain what you need to know here when you need to know it. So that's your introduction to Webflow and your website's backend, and I'll see you in the next video.